Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if it is your first time here, then hi, I'm Shelby. It's very nice to make your acquaintance. Today, I'm sorry if I sound a little off, I am sick. If you can't already tell, I caught whatever my husband's been having for the past 3 weeks, so looking forward to that. So today I'm going to be talking about the most controversial topic so far in 2018. It is the Tarte Shape Tape Foundation. Since I have dry skin, I got the hydrating foundation. So if you would like to hear my opinions, my thoughts, see what this looks like, then just go ahead and keep on watching. So first, let's talk about this product and sort of all the drama that has been circulating behind this product. Now, I do want to preface this by saying I do not agree with how Tarte approached the situation. I don't agree with how it's almost like, how could you have not thought about that? Like, why didn't that enter your mind? Why would you come out with such a limited shade range? Me being a very new, not new, but a YouTuber who is wanting to grow on YouTube, I knew the exact day that this was coming out because they had been talking about it. They had done a little video on their Instagram about it. Everybody has been talking and wanting this foundation, my goodness, since the concealer came out. I know of multiple beauty gurus who are like, Tarte, when is the Shape Tape Foundation coming out? Because I need it in my life. But somebody who doesn't even work at the company who feels this way, I feel like there was a lot of pressure put on Tarte, and I feel like they did a rush job on this foundation. When I first saw the swatches, I believe it was a photo, I'll insert it here, a photo from Pop Sugar. I remember trying to look up swatches because normally influencers get this product ahead of time, and a lot of time I like to see the shade ranges so I kind of know, okay, what is my shade going to be? I looked at this photo and I honestly thought, oh, they don't have all the shade ranges. Like, that is seriously what went through my head. And the fact that it was swatched on a deeper arm, I just like couldn't tell which one was going to be my shade, and I in my head was like, oh, this is just like part of the range of colors. Like, I guess in my head it didn't register that like this is the full shade range. I didn't read up on how many shades they were coming out with. I didn't really know. But when I saw that picture, I was like, okay, there are at least, like, it looks like they took one foundation and swatched it like 6 times on their arm, and then maybe got like a different foundation with maybe like different undertones and swatched it like twice. I mean, it was ridiculous. I honestly thought like, oh, this like isn't the Tarte Shape Tape Foundation. You know, sometimes when you're looking up swatches online and you'll be like, Bobbi Brown foundation swatches, and it'll bring up like Bobbi Brown and Dior and Chanel, and you're just like, what the heck? Like, I specifically want to look at Bobbi Brown. Anyway, that's besides the point. I then went online as soon as they said, like, it's being released, and I just picked a shade. I didn't open it up, see how many shades there were. I just, like, didn't think. It was my head being like, I really want to get this and review it, because maybe if I have one of the first reviews, my video will get noticed and I'll get more subscribers. That's just how my brain was thinking in the moment. But then I was hearing all these gurus talking about it and listening to what they were saying, and I myself was looking at like the total range, and I even told my husband about this, and he was like, why would they do that? Number one, not only is it 2018 and we should be inclusive of deeper skin tones and all skin tones for that matter, but it's like a poor business move. Like, they should have known better. They should have waited until they had formulated their deeper shades or their lighter shades and then come out with it all later. I think it would have been received well. I understand that a lot of times beauty products will come out in March and maybe they didn't want the competition and people have been asking for it for so long, and so they wanted to come out with it earlier and as soon as they felt like they had enough shades that were available. But I feel like with Tarte Shape Tape being so popular, it wouldn't have mattered if it came out in July or August or March or May or any other time of the year. I feel like it would have been very well received. Also, the fact that they had an interview with Pop Sugar and they were saying, oh, we released the lighter shades because it makes sense, like people are lighter in the winter time, and it's just like, I don't know of any African American woman or man who turns into a white person in the wintertime. I just feel like that was a poor attempt at trying to cover up their mistake. I feel like if they had just owned it in the first place and immediately apologized and, you know, done it sooner, that people would be more forgiving. At least we did get an apology. I saw on their Instagram stories that they did sincerely, it sounded like to me, sincerely apologize. And I think better late than never saying anything. That's just my personal opinion. I think we should give everyone the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to continue to use my Tarte palettes. I have some Tarte blushes that I love. But I hope that this is a wake-up call to the company. Just like, get your stuff together. Could you imagine if you were a deeper woman with beautiful deep dark skin and you so want a foundation, yet they don't carry dark enough shades? That's so frustrating. I've only had one instance in my whole life where I was not able to get a foundation because they did not make it light enough. One time I went to the Chanel counter. I was not self-tanned. It was during the summertime when I was working 40 hours a week, so I was in an office. Basically, I'm just a pale person. I don't like getting out in the sun. Skin cancer runs in my family, so I am very pale when I'm not self-tanned. I went into Chanel because it was when the Chanel foundation, I'll leave a picture of it here, but it was when this foundation was like all the rave. Miss Glamorazzi was talking about it, and I really wanted to try this foundation. So I had saved up money. I went over to the Chanel counter in Nordstrom's, and immediately this woman, I say, could I be color matched in this foundation? She looks at my skin and is like, yeah, I don't think we're going to have a shade light enough for you. You're so pale. Do you ever go out in the sun? Like, why are you so pale? Oh my goodness, your skin is so white. Girl, you need to go to the tanning bed. Yeah, we don't carry a shade for you. And I was so offended that this woman was trying to tell me that I needed to change myself because I was too light. Or if a deeper woman, it's like, oh, well, you're too deep, so like we're not going to cater to you because why should we? God made us this way and we can't change our skin color. So that is my opinion about all the drama surrounding Tarte. However, I did buy this with my own money. There was no return slip. I don't really know if you can return this. It was not sent to me with like a shipping thing or anything like that. I don't know if they changed their policy and they were like, you can't send it back. So here we are. Here it is. I do want to try it out because I feel like a lot of the people who I've watched have been very negative on the product because of the drama circulating it. A part of me says like it's just makeup. Like, it's not life or death, but I do just want to acknowledge that I think that they need to do better. But I'm going to review this anyway so that because they will come out with more deeper tones, my deeper skin ladies who have drier skin will know how this performs. And I apologize. I don't even work there, and I apologize the fact that you cannot get a foundation shade because it's ridiculous. So I have gone ahead and primed my face with the Smashbox primer water, and then I put a little bit of the Professional on my T-zone. I've been trying out this combo of primer and I really like it. So now on to the Tarte Shape Tape Foundation. Again, I'm not going to be reviewing the matte one. Tarte Shape Tape in general, I like it for on my face, but I've decided I don't really care for it underneath my eyes because it just looks too drying underneath my eyes. As a person who has very dry under eyes, the Tarte Shape Tape just isn't like the best for me, and I feel like it dries. I just don't like formulas that dry down. I like concealers to stay creamy. So therefore I got the hydrating version. I'm going to scoot you guys in just a little closer. So like I said, I got the hydrating foundation. I got it in the shade light medium beige. Honestly, I really could not tell. I didn't know if Tarte foundations ran dark, ran light. I've never used a Tarte foundation. So when I got this, I was like, oh yeah, that could work. And then I opened it up and I was like, I'm gonna have to be like freshly self-tanned, like ultra dark, loving tan, because this is like dark. So I am freshly self-tan. I do really like this bottle. I think it's very cute. I feel like it's like a big Tarte Shape Tape. Like, how cute is that? I know some people have been talking about how they don't like the big doe foot applicator, but like, how else would they do it? People would be upset if it didn't look like a big version of the Tarte Shape Tape. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think it's cute. So this guy online does not claim to be a full foundation. The matte one claims to be a full coverage foundation. This one actually states that I believe it's light to medium coverage. I believe you can build it up. Typically that is how it is with hydrating foundation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a brush on one side and the beauty blender on the other side. I've been really into brushes lately. I believe that their foundation came with a little brush like this little Artiste brush. So I am just going to use my Artiste brush. So here we go. So already I notice a fragrance. Oh, I feel like that's coming out lighter. That's good to note. I feel like in the tube it looks very dark and the brush looks very dark, but I feel like it's coming out more like my skin. I will say though, people are right when they say like not a lot of foundation is coming off on this. I feel like they should have made this little guy deeper or possibly bigger. And I know this looks like a lot, but like the layer is thin going on your face, if that makes sense. So I am just going to use my little Artiste brush and I'm going to brush this out. Ooh, I actually like this shade. I feel like it's not that dark. So just be wary. I feel like the shades were very light. Like this is light medium beige. And I just feel like I'm a very true light girl. Obviously I am self-tan. Sometimes I can do medium, like a light medium when I'm freshly self-tan, so maybe that's why, but I feel like I could get away with using this like a couple days after I'm fake tanned. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Obviously this side has the foundation and this side does not. I feel like they are right. It is not full coverage, but I would definitely say it's a highlight or a medium coverage. I would say it's probably medium. I do have a little bit of discoloration down there from past breakouts, and it is covering it up. I would say it's kind of on par with the maybe True Match Lumi foundation as far as coverage goes, or the, I've really been using this Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. I feel like it can definitely be built up, but so far I think it looks actually really pretty. It gives you a nice glow. It has, I would say, more of a natural finish versus a dewy finish. I'm going to scoot you guys in further so you can see what my skin is looking like. Again, it is probably a highlight to a medium coverage. Now we are going to try a sponge. On the other side, I have my little Eco Tools sponge. Let's do this. Yeah, I feel like this is only going to, like, one dip in is only going to get like a portion of your face, and I have a very small face because I'm a smaller human, so I can see people having to dip in this like 4 or 5 times. I'm probably dipping it in 2 to 3 times, but I don't need that full coverage foundation. So I feel like it does maybe dry down a bit darker. Let me go over it and I will see. I feel like it is. So I feel like with a sponge, it's a bit dewier of a finish, but I'm assuming that is because the sponge is wet. But as far as like texture on my skin, I feel like this side is more matte. Interesting. So this is what it looks like with just like one coat. I do have quite a bit of spots down here, like I said, from previous acne, so it just kind of gave it a little light wash of color over it. So I'm going to try and cover that. See, yeah, I feel like it goes on lighter and dries down darker. It does have a scent to it. It kind of smells maybe a little bit like the Photo Focus. Is that what I'm smelling? No, the Photo Focus definitely smells a lot more like paint, which is funny because I didn't notice that when I first started using it, but maybe it's something where if it like sits for a few months, it like starts to smell worse. I don't really know. It definitely has a scent, but I would say it just kind of smells like plastic. Okay, so I would say that that built up slightly, but again, I'm still seeing sort of my little pimples. I think I'm preferring more of the luminous side. I feel like it looks a little bit more like skin, and it doesn't look as dry, obviously, but I do kind of like the fact that with a brush, you can get more of a matte look, or with a sponge, you can get more of that dewy finish. I feel like that's kind of cool because it's like you have one foundation, yet it can look so different based off of what tool you use, depending on the day. Like if I want to be a little bit more matte, just use, you know, a brush, or if I want to look a bit more dewy and fresh, then use a beauty blender. Hey guys, so I am back. I just filmed this makeup look. It will be coming in next video. This is going to be my BoxyCharm look. So yeah, not really loving the lips, but we're just going to excuse that. So I've had this foundation on for about 2 hours. I'm not loving it as much as I was. I feel like on camera it looks fine, but this reminds me a whole lot of the Fenty foundation, to be honest. I'm going to zoom you guys in closer just so you can see hopefully what I am seeing. So I feel like this foundation is really just sort of showing all my texture, even though I have like a pore minimizing primer, something that's going to sort of fill in everything. I just feel like it's kind of settled, and because it has almost this luminous sheen to it, yet it's still settling, it just makes me look even older. So you can see it's kind of going in my smile lines, which I'm pretty used to foundations. This isn't the worst foundation that has gotten into my smile lines, but I will show you on this side, on sort of this area of my nose. Like I feel like I don't really know what's going on. I just feel like it doesn't look the greatest. It really reminds me of the Fenty Beauty foundation, and I will link that review up here. I did not like that foundation on dry skin. I don't know, I feel like it gave like a luminous sheen, yet it looked drying, and so it was a very like awkward mixture of, I don't know, where it's like it's supposed to obviously be hydrating, but it's not really. So I'm just going to spritz my face with some of the Smashbox primer water just to see maybe if that could help this whole situation. So because I did powder slightly, and I do have on this a Pure Cosmetics bronze and Brighten little face palette, which I received from my BoxyCharm, which also has like illumination in the bronzer, the blush, and the highlight. So it could just be like you need to use matte things with this foundation because it's already too luminous on its own that you're just gonna have like a ton of texture. Let's see if that did anything. Okay, I feel like that made it, especially on this side, look a bit smoother. I will say I'm still preferring the Beauty Blender side versus this side. I feel like this side is just a bit more matte looking, which is why my skin looks drier on that side. I'm just not really liking it. And for this side, I feel like that sort of helped sort of make everything settle. Again, like I said, it could be the products that I put on top of this, but I don't know, it just really reminds me of the Fenty Beauty foundation, which I was not a fan of. Maybe if you like the Fenty Beauty foundation, you will like this, but I have been seeing people who do not like the Fenty Beauty foundation, Pop Lux in particular. I will link his channel below, and I will link his Fenty Beauty review, and then I will link his Tarte Shape Tape review. But he kind of said sort of the same thing that I was saying. He didn't like the Fenty Beauty foundation, and he also did not really like this foundation. So I don't know, if you like the Fenty Beauty foundation, I'd probably stick with that versus this, because again, Fenty Beauty has a ton of shades available to everyone, ranging from the palest of pale to the deepest of dark. So that is going to be it for today's video. If you guys liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up so that I know that you like beauty videos like this. I would love to hear what you sort of think about this whole Tarte Shape Tape foundation drama below in the comment section. And if you're not already, go ahead and subscribe, become a member of our small but growing family, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. I hope I got your nose blowing in the video.
I'll do it quiet so she won't.
Yeah, no, it was like I was talking and you were like and I was like, that's so gonna be heard in the video. Now I'm gonna leave it in if it is.
Drama. You don't want no drama.